What is going on, you guys? It's Luke Carroll once again, here doing some sweet crazies. My training on these is starting to get a lot better. Obviously, I've got a lot more to do, but we're about 3 hours in terms of my overall training on the crazies. Things are starting to look more fluid. We're seeing those A's and those V's coming together on the pinnacle of each movement. My Seba skates are squeaking because those cuffs love to do that. Coming on my less dominant leg, though, things are a little bit rougher. I have to take slower approaches. I do recommend while you're training, make sure that you're taking your time to do the movements correctly. Do not falter in that discipline. The more you practice proper form, the better things are going to look for you. I decided to have a little bit of fun here, though, and half the size of the cones just to see how well I could do it. Honestly, it's a pretty good practice just to focus on really tight movements. It worked for me. Couldn't tell if it'll work for you, though. Alright, so now that we're looking at our heel toes, I like to open up with this exercise in general. I'm getting a lot better than you can see in this video. However, I still do this rudimentary movement because it gets me ready to appropriately move my legs in the right way. I highly recommend that you continue to do this. That being said, once I got that warm-up out of the way, now it's to shift into moving back and forth to make sure that you're getting those carbs while you're moving. This will transfer into a better form once you start moving into the heel-toes portion of thing. At least I've noticed that with myself. I make sure that I'm doing this movement for a very long time before I even started getting to the heel-toe portion of things. I would say this is about 2.5 hours into my training with the heel toe. Now, we move back to just staying still, but this time it's my first real attempts at trying to get these heel toes put all the way together. You can see I'm still kind of struggling with my stabilization muscles, but I think it's important to include my failures to be able to fully articulate how long it takes and kind of what it requires to get the movement down. Alright, the moment of truth. We are now starting to move on the heel toe, and might I say it gets pretty rough. I start by not using cones with this exercise, and I would argue that that's probably the appropriate way to do it. I will say that when you don't train with the cones, however, you will have to learn some nuances that you don't have to worry about when you're practicing off cones. That being said, my stabilization muscles are clearly not fully up to snuff yet with this movement, so I make sure that I'm going back and trying older moves that are a little bit easier. In this case, just doing the switch back and forth off heel toe. That way my body can start to build memory of what it needs to do so I can focus entirely on these heel toes. Now, I'm trying to take it a little bit slower. Use those stabilization muscles to kind of learn to move all those movements, and I think it really worked out for me. I definitely recommend giving that a try and moving slowly as you learn these moves. And that's a wrap, you guys. Thanks so much for joining in on the video today. If you did end up liking the video, give it a thumbs up. If you are still here and you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It really helps motivate me to keep going. And if you did like the music, go ahead and take a look at Akira the Don. I love his music, that lo-fi beats, all those meaning wave things. They're great. Anyway, thanks for dropping in. See you next time. Peace.